Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel for this, the fourth part of 4 iPads faulty. Can I fix them? In this time it's going to be an iPad mini version 2. As you can see, it's kind of come to me in bits, so I've got the screen there. I've got this is actually broken. I can see that there's cracks across it, so that ain't going to work, and there's a part broken off there anyway. And an attempted screen repair has been done with this screen here. So basically, let's see what we can do. Stay tuned. Okay, so here we go then. So let's have a look what we've got. So as I say, we've got a screen there, so that's absolutely useless. So I can't do anything with that, so that's going to go in the bin. That's going to be needed at the end when we come to put it back together. Might have to see if I can source some screws, because I haven't got the screws. I don't think they're in there, but we'll have a look in a minute, see if they've been put back in the holes. So that's useless. And it's got its digitizer here, so let's take that steady, let's open that up and have a look. And kind of looks okay from the cable inside. So I'm looking down here. So yeah, so the cable looks like it's still connected, so I don't see any issues there. That bit of sticky's come off. We'll see. I think, yep, should be alright. It's got the sticky still in place, so it's never been attempted to be stuck down that. Okay, so what we're going to do is, as usual, we're going to disconnect the battery, and then we'll take the digitizer off just to make sure, and then I'll just check that the battery charges again. I've already checked it once, but we'll just check again that it still actually does charge, and that it looks okay. At least there's no broken screen to clean up. And I've got 3 out of the 4 corners are damaged, unfortunately. So I'm just going to need to see whether the screen will fit correctly on that. I'm just looking here now. I don't know if there's a bit of damage on that ribbon cable. I'm hoping there isn't. So I'm hoping that ribbon that works. Probably won't know until we get a screen in here. I've purchased a second broken, well, it's an iPad that's iCloud locked, so therefore it's kind of useless, but it's got a good screen, digitizer on the front, a good screen, LCD screen, and any parts I may need to fix in here. So I'll probably get the screws as well from that one, so I can use that as a donut. I got that very cheap, so I don't mind ripping that one apart for parts for this one. Okay, so let's disconnect the battery, let's get this off, and let's just have a good look around the actual iPad itself. Okay, so let's disconnect the battery, and then we can safely remove what I hope is a good screen here. Obviously I haven't tested this screen. So this is the battery terminal, so let's just lift out the spudger, so that get that out of the way, just to make sure that it doesn't affect this. So now we can lift this up. Now always pry these away from any component level, so let's pry against that screw through there. Now these usually tend to be stuck to the base as well, so let's lift this up. If this was a repair, it shouldn't be too sticky. Yeah, there you go. Okay. This bit of stickiness is usually connected to the bottom of the LCD display. It's now stuck on here, which it shouldn't be. Turn that off. There we go, that's it. So that should now safely allow us to remove this. There we go. So I'm hoping that that this digitizer is in good nick. I'm just a bit worried down here, but I'm hoping that's just where it's been messed around a bit. Cable looks okay, so it looks like it's in good condition, but we'll test that when we get another screen in place. So at this moment in time, I think the internal screen protector's gone. I think that's the external one, yeah. So we're going to have to give the internal screen a good wipe before we put this back in. But that's the last job anyway, so let's not worry too much about that. So looking closely at this now, There's a lot of gunge here, so I think there's been a bit of water damage or something there. Yeah, it's got, as I mentioned earlier, so there's a damaged corner there, damaged corner there, which is pretty well damaged. Slightly damaged, but definitely is bent corner there, and obviously that corner there. So all four corners are pretty well damaged. Actually looks, this bit here looks like it's curving upwards as well, so I think it's maybe had a bit of a bang that way. So I'm pretty sure that the actual casing's got a slight curve to it. So really the case is in a pretty poor state here. So I think what I need to do is maybe get the logic board out here and swap it into another case. It just happens I bought this iPad. So this is again an iPad 2. This one is it the same model number? Let's have a look. So that's a 1489. Yep. So they're both 1489s. So it's definitely the same model number. So that's good, which I'm sure it was because that's what I bought. It's quite messy down here, but that looks like it's only surface muck. That'll clear off. Looks nice and straight there as opposed to that one. Now the corners, not 100%, but that's not bad. That's got a little bit of damage, but I think it's okay. I think the screen will fit in there. That's curved, but some little marks on it, and little marks on it again curved. So this one, the actual corners, the case is pretty good. But as I say, it's iCloud locked on this one, so it's no good for that. So basically, if I can take the logic board out of here and put it into here, and then apply that screen onto here, we should, out of these two, get one good one. I think I only paid about £20 odd for this, so therefore that's just about the same price you pay for a screen, so all good. So that's what we're going to do. So let me get this screen off here. So I'll do this off camera because you've seen it quite a bit in these now. So I'll get this screen off here, and then we'll have a look inside, make sure everything's good and it matches this one, and then we'll look at transferring logic board from here to there, and this video can be about that. So let me take this screen off. So I managed to get the screen off, so that was fairly easy. The glue, I heated the glue up, just sort of scraped it off, and it came off quite well. So as you can probably see side by side now, this is a much cleaner system than this one, because with this one here we've got all this gunge around here, and it's absolutely immaculate around here. So this one has the iCloud locked logic board, which makes it pretty useless, whereas this one is the logic board that I want. So I'm going to take this, take it out of here and put it into here. So first thing what we will do is though, just make sure, because I've not actually seen this yet power up, because I didn't have a screen that way. So I'm going to take the screen that I've got and the new digitizer, let's put them on here, and let's just make sure that this will come up. So I'll fit them on, and I'll just show you coming up on the camera, because obviously you've seen me take the screens on and off loads of times now, so let me do that. Alright, so here we have the good LCD from here, the good digitizer I got with this that has been attempted to be fitted and not done correctly, and now powered it all up, and all you can see, it's all good. So the actual screen's working pretty well. So oops, so we can take one of these, and obviously there's a screen protector on the front, there we go. But yeah, it's working all over, so it's no problems. So now I've got a good digitizer, I've got a good LCD underneath. So yeah, this is all good to go. So let's power this off, and let's get the logic board out of here, and then we're going to fit it into here. So let's do that. So the first step in getting the logic board out is part of the logic board, which is this here, comes all the way here and goes to the lightning connector there. But if you look, you've got an antenna here, and this antenna cable goes over, if you can see that, let me just zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. So this here, this cable here, is the antenna cable from the antenna here. and this sticky tape here is sticking this down, so we need to get these out the way so we can get this out and lift this part up because it's part of the logic board here. So let's go with that. So they're all Phillips screws, very small. Right, so this antenna is stuck down onto the speaker, so we just need to ease the antenna up. There we go. Right, that's nice. Now you can see the wire is there, which runs underneath this bit of sticky tape here. So we need to drop this sticky tape out the way. Now we can take it off the front of that. Now again, there's more tape here, so we're going to remove the whole of this piece of tape though, because this piece of tape is also covering part of the logic board that we need to remove. This tape, so it goes right around the corner into here. There we go, it goes underneath, and another piece of tape there. I might leave that tape on if it stays. Maybe not. I'm going to come off underneath. There we go. So the furthest antenna cable goes to the one nearest to it. The nearest one goes to that one. So let's take this antenna off. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put these screws back in. Right, let's remove the other antenna. And there's the other one. So now we can pop those off. Again, what I want to do is transfer lever against any of the components. So I'm going to stick that into there. There you go. And that into there. That's it. So we have those out of the way now. So now we have to remove the speaker here. So where we do that is, if you look in here, zoom in because it's quite clever design, this one. So what they've done here is, this is the lightning connector, and the sides of it here, the top of it and the bottom of it are the two connectors to this speaker, and the two connectors here to this speaker. So you've got to make sure there's some washers, and make sure the contacts, if you're going to put it together, above and below the screw hole. So there's a contact on either side of this, so we'll see that when we get it out. So this screw here and this screw here is holding this speaker in, and this screw and this screw holding this speaker in. So let's get the speakers out. So see that actually. There's a very thin gap between those two pieces of metal there. So when you put this back, that has to go in between those. So I'm assuming that will lift up. Yeah, there you go. So you can see the two speaker contacts there. So it's probably better to lift it up when you put them back. Yeah, quite clever that. That was a nice little speaker. Right. So I'm going to put all these screws back in here now, so at least I know where they are. Okay, so I popped all the screws back in and all in the speaker, so I know where they come from. So let's take the other speaker out. So let's now move the lightning connector. Now the lightning connector has some little covers which are covering the screws, so it looks like it's a bit of plastic pushed in there, but it's not. So these here are covers covering the screws. So let's take them off. Okay, so now we can remove those 2 screws. That should then release our lightning connector. Yeah, it's ready to come, but this is stuck down as well, so we'll need to unglue this. Okay. There we have the lightning connector, and then gently what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some heat on here. Don't want to tear this circuit board. It's quite a delicate circuit board. You can see it's got a lightning connector and the speakers in there, so choose a bit of heat. So melt the glue. Much easier, not much force. There we go. So that part is up. So now we've got that end loose, so let's work on this now. So first of all, we're going to lift this tape off here. So this is we're going to get to the front facing camera connection, which is this one here. So let's remove this tape. So we can lift that up. Now, here, I'll lift this tape up here. That's going to reveal another connector. Just interested in this one here. This is one of those zip sockets, so you just need to lift that up like that. Yep. And then you should be able to slide this out of that socket. So you may need to lift this up a little bit. There we go. So that's that. Now we can get to this one. So the last one was the microphone. This is now the headphone socket. So you see these all are on the logic board here. It connects to these. So this is the last piece. So if we can lift this, which some components there, so I want to be careful. Don't affect those. That's it. And that's that now released. So that's the edge of the logic board. There's the end of it. So this is part of the logic board here. Alright, so that end's done. That end's now done. So now the rear facing camera, do that. There's a strange play, it doesn't lift straight up, it's got some little hooks either side there, so you've got to push it back a bit and then you can lift it up. See those? They were hooking on the back of the circuit board. And then we can just pop that. That's that out of the way. So that's everything undone there. Alright, nearly there now. So what we've got now is the switch units here. Just using this. So there's a little cover. So let's remove the cover from there. Take this cover off. Now we can release that connector. That's it. Just need to peel it back a little bit. So that's all that. And then there's just one screw holding the logic board, which is this one. But the logic board is stuck down. So it's going to need heating up to remove. So let's see, check they don't go through. No. Okay, so now it's a matter of easing this logic board out. Now it is easy getting the battery out, but the battery to take out is a pain. So really, hoping I get this out without having to take the battery out. So let's see how we go. And she's out. So you can see so you can see the sticky was there, here, holding the board down. And that's it. So logic board's out. So there's the good logic board. So I'll put this aside now. I'll just put a couple of these screws back so I know where they came from. So that's the good logic board from the bad iPad. So now I'll put that to one side and then we'll go do the same on the other, but I'll just do that to the point that I get the logic board out, and then we can go, when we come back, we'll be putting the good logic board in the good iPad. So there we are. So now it's time to get the good logic board into the good iPad case. So first things, obviously, let's get the logic board back in where it should be, in position. So went on all these little sticky pads. Still a bit of sticky left. Watch out for the battery connector. And actually, I think what I might have done, I've left some of the screws in place. So let's get those screws out first. Right, so the screws we're going to need to remove is this one. Right, that should be enough, so let's get this back in. It fits into that little protruding bit, goes in the hole, as does that one, and that just sat down nicely. So it's stuck down here, so I'll just press it down a little bit there. Hopefully that'll stick back down again. And then let's get this in before it gets too tight. Actually, I think I've left the screws in there as well. So let me just remove those screws. Right, should we now be able to pop the lightning connector back in? There we go. So we'll screw that in straight away, so it's in the correct position. Okay, so now we'll stick this back down. So that was laid flat down there. So that's good. So next we'll reattach the switch here. So reattach this connector. Now we'll reconnect all of these. that's all that done, and then we can do the normal camera, rear camera with this. Okay, that's all that in done, so let's have a look at this. So now we've got to get these speakers back in and the aerials. So same way we took them out, let's start with this speaker. So I'll just remove the screws. Now if you remember, there was a washer on here that I can't lose, so let's open this and remove that washer. There you go. Leave it there for now. Right. So if you remember, this is made up of two parts. So the top and the bottom connection. So you probably see that. See the two parts. So these want to be either side of that connector there. So coming from this side, start pushing these in. Keep my eye and make sure that they go the right. Oops. Oh, that's just caught on that. Okay, that looks good. That's gone in well. Now pop that on there. And oops. Back on. Lightly for now, I'll get the other screw in. And then the other speaker should be very similar. You see that. So that's how we need to get those in. So I think this tape was on last. This tape was on last after the aerial. So now let's get the longest aerial in back to here. So here's the longest aerial, and that was connected to the nearest, like that. Push it against the side. Now we've got to get the run right, so it needs to go. Let's have a look. Let's see where this aerial needs to go. It's quite a tricky one, this. So there is a little holder just in there. Right, so see that there? So the aerial wires need to go inside that, and obviously behind this bit of tape as well. So let's pop that in there. There we go. And underneath behind the screw at the top there. Actually, I'm thinking this was on top of that. So let's get this one in first. I'm pretty sure that this one was in first and this one's on top of it. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's mostly back together now. Zoom out. Okay, so what I've done now, I've reconnected the screen, the LCD screen and the digitizer, and put the battery back on. So let's just see if this now works. When I press on the button. Yes! Excellent, so let it boot up. Then we should have a fully working iPad now. But we just need to check a few other things. Wi-Fi, speakers, things like that. So let's just power up and then we'll check those. Alright, so I've just been through and checked everything. Oh, sorry, one thing, camera, I haven't checked the cameras. So, yeah, that camera works. Oops, sorry, I want that one. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, I think it's because yeah, there you go. Cover was on properly. So yeah, camera works. Both cameras. Check the sounds. Screen's not in line, of course. So yeah, I've checked the screen. That was all good. So go to settings and check the sound. Yeah. So that all works. So all the buttons work. The volume up and down is working now. Oops. Yep. So that's going up and down. And also the silent button's working as well. So yeah, and home button of course is working. So great, so that's all working. So what I need to do now is give it a good clean up, just around the edges, and in preparation for getting this screen back on correctly and battening down everything, and that should be good. So let's do that. Okay, here we go. So all cleaned and all ready for reassembly. So there we have it, one iPad mini Gen 2 completed now. Screen stuck down, put it under pressure, it's absolutely perfectly stuck down because the frame of this was perfectly straight, none of the corners had any damage, so it went together pretty easy and lovely. Got OS 12.4.7 on there because iPad mini 2 does support the iOS 12, so this is pretty good. You can have all your new apps, etc. So they'll be supported on this iPad mini 2, whereas iPad mini 1 you can only take it up to iOS 9 and they won't support the new apps, so definitely worth getting the iPad 2. It's mini 2, it's worth paying the extra for one of those. But yeah, that's it, so that's finished. So iPad is ready, so I can give it back to the owner and it's all theirs to play with. So that's it, so it was pretty good that. Logic board swap, don't forget, so we took a new body and took the logic board out of the old iPad that had the broken screen, put it into this one because it was an iCloud locked iPad, this one. So obviously the serial number of the board and the serial number of the iPad won't match now, but that doesn't matter. It's a functional iPad for a fraction of the cost really, so here we go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this type of video then please press my subscribe button and you know, I can keep doing these and keep giving you guys some interesting videos. Thanks for watching, catch you in the next one.